daddy's lap.
When the dream is gone,
I wanna tell you
it's
something.
a lonely place.
Listen. Yo, Lil Royce, nickel 9, eyes wide with sight, with a future as bright as the light in the eyes of Christ, ready to take on the world.
What is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Got one for you guys today from a little bit of an under the radar house called Bloke. Now this one is called Blake. Please excuse the sirens in the background. Obviously someone fucked up. And the way that I heard about this one is that there was I guess one of the Facebook groups, a reviewer, Jason Budd, who you guys probably know, that he's an opera singer and just a wonderful reviewer, was asking if anyone had heard about this fragrance because it was on the Neiman Marcus Last Call website for $15, and no one had heard of it, but the notes, which included black currant and leather and oak moss, for me looked really appealing. So for $15 I blind bought it. So I got it a couple days later, and immediately I opened it and I smelled it, and I realized there was definitely no leather or black currant in it at all. And that's because there are actually 6 or 7 scents by Bloke, and each have different names and different notes. So I got in touch with Neiman Marcus Last Call, talked that through, and Neiman Marcus really is a class act. They refunded me fully and allowed me to keep the fragrance. I've been a long time Neiman Marcus customer, and I certainly am going to continue to be. They're very concerned with making sure they right any sort of wrongs. Now, there isn't a lot of info on this house. I know that the line was created by a designer named Christopher Valiente, who I can't find too much info about. But each scent, and there are 6 of them, are named after 6 men. And Michael is the one that has the black currant, the leather, and the oak moss. Now, these retail for around $50, but they are on the Neiman Marcus site for $14, so they can be had very cheaply. This one is called Blake, and the notes on Blake are cypress, juniper, and sandalwood. Now, as far as your presentation goes, I like the box. Bloke, Blake, I guess Christophe Valenti signed it. You have the plaid pattern all the way around, and the back you have this information: a smart, rich, yet down to earth, like the Lone Star State itself. Blake can be found in the stables by day and hitting the club scene by night. A woody fragrance with notes of cypress, juniper, and sandalwood. Cypress, juniper, and sandalwood. And you have the website there. Barcode on the bottom. Now the bottle to me is very cheap. It's just, this is a sticker. The white looks very sort of out of place on the black. This is a sticker. There's nothing. I mean, basically they just bought some bottles. The cap is very light and slides off. It was almost like they just bought bottles and put none of their own details on it, which may be okay for a $14 fragrance, but not for a $60 fragrance, in my opinion. And so I want to talk to you guys about the scent. Obviously, behind every perfume, there's a perfumer. And I try to be respectful of that. You guys know that, especially because I've tried my hand at making fragrances myself, and I know it's really hard. So I try to take it easy and say the best things that I can, especially with indie houses, because my review could make a huge difference. It's probably not going to make or break a house, but you could definitely, or any reviewer could really help get the ball rolling. There are multiple indie houses I know out there that for sure got big boosts from Fragcom. And in the same vein, what you say could help shut a brand down. There are thousands of people who love perfume. They're watching these reviews, and they have friends who like fragrances, so there's a ripple effect. So even when I don't like something, I try to picture who might like it and try to appeal to that person. And when an indie perfumer or an artisan shaving house sends me stuff and I don't like it, I just don't do the video. And if I ask for the stuff, I offer to pay for it, because I don't want to be responsible for shutting someone down just because I don't like their products. I'm not ever going to try to stop someone from eating, and that's especially true if I think they're sincere in their efforts. But there's a flip side to that, and companies and perfumers have a responsibility to make great products. And if you don't have that love and that sense of responsibility, it's definitely going to come across that you don't have that. And that's what I feel about this scent. This scent to me is awful. And it's not awful because it's too daring or out there like Secretions Magnifique. And it's not awful because it's copying 1 Million. It's awful because to me it's one note. And the one note is very harsh cedar with nothing breaking the fall. And the cedar is so strong and so stringent that I get like a urine vibe out of it. It's just not a good scent. I used to get this cedar spray for my closet from Bed Bath & Beyond. It was $4 for a big bottle, and it is much better than this stuff. There's nothing more to this scent than that. And gradually, thankfully, it dries down to nothing after a couple hours. And when it is finally all gone, it's the equivalent to me of the death of a high-ranking terrorist. This is simple. It is astringent. The bottle is dollar store cheap. The concept is confusing. The line is overpriced. It's hard to find information about it. It's a disaster. And I cannot for one single second believe that this was anything more than a cash grab. Now, it could be that others in the line are worth looking at. That's certainly possible. Maybe that's the case. I'll re-examine my feelings on this one. But for me right now, this is a 0 out of 10. There's nothing redeemable about this fragrance. It's one of the worst scents that I've ever bought. It is the worst scent that I've ever bought. Even Smoky Poppy, which annoyed me with its lack of smoke, and Poppy was pleasant. So I'm going to move on and forget that this incident happened. I'll be back next week for another review. Guys, you know what it is. My name is Max.
I can only lead you while you on your quest for knowledge. I'm a teacher to have sense and to respect the dollar. Hope for the best and you'll see your world will be solid. I'm a teacher the truth, even behind worldly logic. This is